Hello, hello, and happy Thursday, everybody. How is everybody doing? I'm going to give you a second to get on because I know it takes a second before it actually goes live on my end. Let me know if you end up showing up. Go ahead and do hashtag live if you're here on the live. Go or hashtag replay if you are rewatching this. And thank you for showing up. I'm super excited. I always love having you guys here. And when you let me know in the comments, then I can see you because when I am along here, I don't always see it. Hi, Jeanette. How you doing, girl? I'm going to be calling you soon. I am super excited for tonight. I know I didn't really advertise it much, but things have been crazy and nuts, and I am super excited. It's a good crazy, it's a good nuts, and hopefully all of you are doing well too. Hi, Michelle. Hey, baby. Actually, and we're gonna start it off with doing our positives because that's what I love doing on Thursday nights. It's a great way to start our day. It is Thankful Thursday in my group today, and I always like to just kind of think about those types of things. So if you have a positive, go ahead and put it inside of the chat here. I'd love to celebrate it with you. Mine would probably be that my car is fixed today, and it was totally crazy. It had been slowly getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like the heat was going out. I was having electrical issues installed on me twice this weekend and this week, and they were able to get it in. And it just so happens that we're at a time in our life that we got a huge bill, but we were able to pay it. And my husband really went to work with the help of moving stuff around and some family. We were able to pull out a pretty high bill and get it fixed. And now I have a working car. So, I mean, if you can't be thankful for that, I don't know, but I've got heat in my car now. So I'm so thankful because I have been using blankets in it for like a ridiculously and almost embarrassingly long time. So let me know what your positives are. Let's see. Jeanette says positives. People are signing up for my kids' cooking classes and they love them. Oh yeah. If you are looking for PSA, if you're looking for baking courses, is it baking or cooking classes for your teenagers, you should be checking Jeanette's stuff out because it is amazing. I've been sharing some of it on some of our stuff through here, and we are always loving and supporting everything that Jeanette's doing. Same thing with Michelle too over at Taking Back Muskegon. They're going to have some really awesome stuff coming up. So the first half of this is impromptu advertising for anybody who's showing up. All right, guys. Well, here, like I said, keep those positives coming. If you got them, if you're on the replay, go ahead and put them on. Okay, let's celebrate together. Still, it's always good to check back and just celebrate those positives because sometimes life is rough and it's good to remember the good times. Okay. So I wanted to jump on real quick, and I wanted to make sure that we started talking about, what's coming up next. And that is not just my birthday, but Valentine's Day. And I know that there are a lot of people that have a lot of expectations around this day. I don't know if it was when we were little girls, we just got our heart set on all those things. And, or maybe in the beginning of our relationships, we were able to get all of the things, there's always the commercials with the cars with the big bows and the candlelit dinners and the flights out to places and everything like that. But, the reality in parenting is we don't always get that fairy book, especially right now with things shut down and things going on. For the longest time, we were only allowed to get takeout. So whether you liked it or not, candlelit dinner was not on the table. It was more like, in your dining room, maybe when the kids are asleep, or hiding in your room, or eating it in your car before you, got into the house so that your kids wouldn't want it too. We're all in that reality. And I think it's time to kind of normalize that a little bit. Not saying that you can't have those, those storybook times and those storybook things. But I think it's time to make the romance realistic and to find the romance in the normal everyday things. So moms, I'm here for a reality check on romancing. Okay. And maybe that is you, maybe you guys still have that and good on you. Let me know, let me know if you guys still have that fire, that spark. But the reality is, I was at Berkeley, did a study, and they said I actually wrote it down because I did not believe it. I was crazy. 92% of couples said that when they had a baby, that they had increased conflict and they believed the romance to decline. 92%, guys. That's crazy. But it's good to know that it's not just you, right? Like when the baby comes, you're number two, right? You're number two in your life. You're number two forever. And sometimes that's hard to bear. That's hard to go with because you're thinking, oh, I still want to be number one. Well, it's not just dad, it's mom too. We have now put someone and something in front of ourselves and ultimately in front of our partner, right? And we forget sometimes that we do that. And then we get upset when days like this come along. So we're going to talk about it. And the first thing I want to talk about is not basing, and I'm going to put this banner up because it's important to me, guys, okay? Especially with this being my birthday and everything too. And I want it not to just be surrounded around Valentine's Day, but not basing your entire relationship around one day or one holiday, whether it be Valentine's Day, Christmas, your anniversary. There are 365 days in the year. And if we base our relationship around what happens in 1 year, we are bound to be disappointed, especially with things going on right now. We're just, like Valentine's Day is on a Sunday right now. It's on a Sunday during COVID. Okay. Realistically, your options for romance are automatically declined. It's a school night, right? It's, again, things are still shut down. Some people still have curfews. Janelle, you guys are in Canada, and I know you still have a curfew right now. So that late night dining out without the kids is harder. Parents, can't have their grandparents watching their kids because maybe they're at high risk or, again, you're in some sort of lockdown. So the reality is maybe this just isn't your year for the perfect Valentine's Day. And that's totally okay. But it's important to start looking and taking stock in the rest of the year, okay? And the other 364 days of the year, take stock in those days. And remember, maybe you weren't able to romance this day. Don't let that get you down. But think of all the times that you guys were able to get together or that you were able to get out, or even with just like the hope that it will be over soon. Things will calm down and you will be able to have those special and awesome moments, right? So just remembering that. And again, taking stock in each and every day, not just one day. Because I think a lot of us get our hopes up, and that's totally all right. You get your hopes up. You're like, okay, honey, I don't want you to get me anything. And in the back of your mind, but he could get me a card or he could get me chocolates or whatever. Just making sure that you're being realistic with what can happen too. If you know that you guys are struggling financially and everything like that, or if you're in a spot where you're locked down or you can't get rid of the kids, then just know that that's the reality of the situation. And when you start to accept that, it's going to make it a bit easier, right? And again, I'm not saying that like the romance is dead and there aren't other things that you can do. And we're going to talk about that, but making sure that you're not basing it all on just one day, right? Okay. And this is very I was talking to my husband about a lot of this stuff too, because I wanted to make sure, we as women, we have certain expectations and, we got to make sure that we're being realistic with some of those things, just like guys should be too, and I'm here to deal with the moms. So let's do it. So keeping the romance alive, even when the sizzle is out. And I think a lot of you will understand this, especially if you've just had a baby. Maybe you just had a baby, okay? The reality is sometimes your libido is not there, okay? You're not in it to win it right now. And that's all right. But remember that even when you're not being intimate, you can still be romantic. Just like you want that, your spouse, your significant other wants that too. So make sure that even when you're not being intimate, you can still be romantic. You can still give that smile, give that kiss, give that compliment. Maybe you can't be intimate because you have a kid that won't stay out of your bed. You got somebody that keeps having night terrors, you're just exhausted because maybe you guys are running around. You're on opposite schedules. I see that a lot. There are parents where one's working day shift, one's working night shift, and they just can't find that time alone with each other. And, just making sure that when you get that opportunity, even if you're not able to be intimate, you make sure that you're making time to still be romantic with each other. Okay. And remember, ladies, again, I don't want to call us out, but I'm helping us out. Okay. You get what you give. Okay. So they need attention too. So if you want attention, and I'm calling myself out here. Okay. There has definitely been times where I'm like, there's definitely been times where I'm like, wow, he hasn't talked to me. He hasn't touched me. He hasn't been around me. And then eventually I'll blow up and I'll be like, where are you at? And he'll be like, hey, you were kind of cold and I didn't think you wanted anything to do with me. And then I realized like I was putting out what I was getting back. And so, I just suck it up. And like, if you want those hugs and you want that love and you want that kindness and you want that warmth, make sure that you're getting it, you're giving that out. Especially us as moms, like we get tired, we get angry. We just got done dealing with the kids all day and everything like that. And we're angry and we're tired and we put up like this little wall of irritated anger. And then we wonder why we're not getting anything in return. And, I'm not saying this is everyone. And I'm not saying you won't have your days, but I'm saying it's something that if you're not having that sizzle and you're not having those moments where you're feeling like you're you're not in the receiving mood or you're not getting given to, then maybe you're not in a receiving mood. So check yourself, like take stock in what you're doing, take stock in your body language, take stock in how you're behaving and ask yourself, am I really being open to that type of language, that type of behavior? I guarantee he's not going to try and pinch your butt and come up behind you and be all lovey-dovey if you look like you're about to murder someone. And I am 100% saying this from experience because I have definitely been that. Let me know if I'm alone on this, okay? I know I'm spitting some harsh stuff tonight, but I think maybe it's because it's my birthday on Valentine's Day and I just see all these things. I get kind of upset when I see all these things and all these people you see the commercials, you see everything like that, and it's like this fairy tale stuff, and it creates this like false reality that it's always going to be like that. And if it's not like that, that means that somebody doesn't care for you or somebody doesn't love you. And that's just not the truth, right? You don't need to have it on all the time. And you're going to be tired. You're going to be rough around the edges and you're going to be struggling sometimes. That's totally all right. Because you know what? We're parents. We're parents. We're moms and dads, and we're exhausted sometimes. And even just making sure, though, that you're going through and saying, hey, honey, love you, night. That is so much in just that little bit, right? Making sure that you're still showing up and you're still showing up for the relationship, even when you're exhausted and you're tired. A lot of the times we associate with the, a lot of times we associate the being intimate with being romantic. They don't have to be the same. And the reality is when you start to couple those together and you say, when I'm not being intimate, then the romance is dead and the sizzle is out, that doesn't mean that the romance still isn't alive. So be realistic. All right. Let me see. Let's take a look at the comments really quick here. Jeanette used to celebrate on Valentine's Day with my hubby, February 15th. Now we just show our love for each other on a daily basis. It's the little things that accumulate that builds the love. Yes, saying I love you, making tea or coffee, giving a cuddle and laughing with each other. Yes, those are amazing ways to show up for each other. It doesn't have to be a super grand gesture every single time. And I mean that. This isn't like oh, don't do that for me, but like do it for me. No. And we're going to talk about that too. Okay. Next thing, don't let your relationship take a backseat to parenting. Again, this is something that I see. I've been there. I've done it. There's been, I mean, like it's recently even too, you get in the mode of just parenting mode, right? You get in parenting mode and you forget, that you're in a team, that you're in a relationship. And all of the things that you do, all of the relationships that you're, like all the, like the conversations that you have, it's all about the kids, it's all about the parenting, and it's all about that and nothing else. Like we lose our identity in our kids or with our kids. And we've definitely been there. Hey, Tiffany, hey, girl. But, we've definitely been in that mode where, especially moms, guys, we get in mom mode and then we start to continue that mode. Like, have you ever been in a mom mode and then you continue that mode with your husband and then you're wondering like why he's irritated with you later? And it was because you're still like momming him or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you're in mom mode. You're not in wife mode. You're not in relationship mode. And I mean, I'm not trying to beat anybody up here. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad because the reality is it's just what happens. Okay. You can't go into one and then snap over to the next, but realize and understand that that's happening behind the scenes. Okay. So make sure you're shifting. Sometimes when we're like, if you're a working mom, you get in that mode where you just need like that 5 minutes before you're working and where you come home. Like there's been times where I come home and I'm still in work mode, right? Still in work mode. And I'm like in my work, my husband says it's my work voice, right? And I'm getting on everybody and everything like that. And I'm kind of in work mode and I haven't switched over to home mode, where I'm usually a little more empathetic. I'm a little more kind. I'm less business. But sometimes we need time to switch to that mode. So maybe when the kids go to bed, like give yourself a couple minutes or something to switch to that mode where you're making sure that you're taking time to talk to your spouse like they're your spouse, not like they're your kid, right? I definitely do that. And I feel bad. And then I get defensive about it and I get angry because nobody likes to be called out on it, right? And that's totally me. I've definitely been there. And that's why communication is so important when you're in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, when you're in a relationship in general, but when you're in a marriage, communication is so, so, so important. Okay. If not for the sole fact when Berkeley did that study and they said, 92% of people said that they had more conflict in their marriage and that they were unhappier or like there was less romance in their marriage. Right. So it's like, oh, I'm looking at Tiffany. Tiffany says real life story, hashtag real life story. But, it's important to remember like the parenting style that you guys have might be different. And unfortunately, a lot of the times you don't know that until you have a child, right? Like you can talk about it before the relationship and you think you're going to do one thing. We talked about that last week, right? We talked about how, I was never going to do this and I'm never going to do that and I'm never going to do that. And then the kid comes out and you're like, I'm doing it all, right? All those things that I said I was never going to do, I'm going to do that. But, especially when you're doing like, when you have those dynamics, like my husband is the fun one. He is the fun one. He is the one that has the bag of candy, that buys the cake and pie. He is the one that will let them stay up late. He is the one when they stay home with him, they are playing games, they are hanging out, and they are doing all of that. He is hands down the fun one. Okay. And I am the stickler who is like, clean the house, do this and do that. And then I'll get mad and I'll get upset and be like, why didn't he have them do this? Why didn't he have them clean that? And I realize that like, I don't ever let them like relax sometimes. Sometimes I have to remember like they're kids and I need to give them that break, like when they first come home from school and let them chill for a little bit. But they need like both styles of that. They need that yin and that yang. And if we were both like, hard and pushy and everything like that, we'd probably have a pretty unhappy home. But then it reminds me to like lighten up and to loosen up. And then it reminds him too, like if I come home and the house is kind of still a mess and he realizes that they've been having fun all day, he was like, oh, okay, I really got to buck up and I got to make sure that I'm cleaning up. And if it doesn't, instead of going off the handle and just getting super angry, and again, I have definitely done that and I have definitely been there. I have found that when I communicate why I'm frustrated and why I'm mad and why I'm upset, then it goes a lot further than just going off the handle and starting and yelling and screaming and being upset. But instead being like, hey guys, I'm really glad you had a good time, but do you mind cleaning up so that I can relax and I can feel good about what's going on right now? And I guarantee you, like most of the time, they just genuinely didn't think about it, or they lost track of time because they were having a good time. And part of me gets a little bit jealous in that. And then I just need to like check myself and question myself and not take it out on my spouse, or in my case, my husband, and say, like, getting upset with him because he chose to spend his time with the kids in a fun and more loose manner. Not saying that, again, that you always need to be the bad guy, or that you can't loosen up, or that sometimes dad needs a little reminder that, hey, coming with playtime, it comes with cleanup time. But I guarantee you, most of the time, if you actually like talk it out with them, they're going to know. When you communicate your parenting style and what you want in parenting and what you want in your relationship, it's going to go a lot better. Okay. I love to tell people this, and it's compliments go farther than corrections. And I will remind myself that. I'll remind myself with my kids, and I will remind myself that in my relationship. Okay. So I always make sure like compliments go further than corrections, and make sure that you're not just constantly criticizing, that you're not just constantly finding things to be upset with, finding things to be angry with. And again, you're momming, you're not in a relationship, you're not a team at that point anymore, right? Like, do you sometimes forget? I sometimes forget that you're in a team, that you're like, you're in a partnership, and you're like, oh, I'm the only one doing these things. I'm the only one doing that. And yes. And I'm not saying that some of us don't have that as a reality. And in that case, again, you need to make sure that you're communicating well, right? Hey, let's take a look. Sorry, I see stuff popping up. A bunch of stuff just popped up really quick. Let's see. We've got, okay, Tiffany. Yes, she says he comes home. Go ahead, take your coat and your shoes off, and I'll get you something to eat. Aw. My trustworthy vision, my children will never sleep with me. Reality, oldest is 5 and still ends up in our bed before the alarm goes off every morning. Yes, legit. That is me. My kid usually, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, my 2.5-year-old, he will fall asleep in bed with us usually. And then he will be like, he'll get up about like 5 o'clock in the morning and crawl into bed with us. So again, it's hard. And that's the reality of that. So there are times where we're like, hey, we almost have to like plan our time together. And maybe that's not like the most real or like most romantic thing. And that's totally okay. Right. Oh, Jeanette's on a client call. You go, girl. But, maybe that's not the most romantic thing. And you're like, I don't want to have to schedule my times. Okay. Well, the reality is you might have to, if you really want to, if you really want to make sure that you're getting that time together, and you want like quality time with each other, you might have to be okay with the fact that you're gonna have to like lock your door or plan that time together where you're like sneaking away for a little bit, because the reality is you're a parent, and it'd be nice. And so, some people have different lifestyles, and they have different, they have different levels of where they're at in their journey and everything. And there might be people who you can find somebody to watch your kids. You can find a brother or a sister or a cousin or a parent that's willing to take them for a day and a night. And they are willing to, like hold on to them for a little bit. So you can do that. Again, though, you still need to kind of plan that. And make sure that you're not just solely putting it on the other person. It's not fair to them, and it's not fair to you too. Okay. Make sure it's something that, again, you are discussing, because you are a team, right? You're a team. And I mean, real life examples from this, I think we see the jokes all the time. Like, oh, he did the dishes today. He's so sexy. And people are like, oh, and that's all he's got to do. And he gets off easy for that. Right. But it's the truth. It's those little things every day where they're showing up for us, where they're noticing that. And there are times too where, like my husband, when he gets home and I'm able to have dinner on the table for him and everything like that, he takes notice of that. He appreciates that. And when I make sure that I express and validate those times that he does those things for me, I find that it often comes back to me like tenfold. And sometimes even just that little, like, hey, honey, thanks for dinner. Or, oh, look at you. Look what you did and stuff like that. Even those playing around moments or whatever, that's for me, that's better than flowers. When he comes up and he says, hey, honey, I know you're tired. I'll take care of this diaper. You stay there on the couch. I got this one. You know what? I would rather that over some cheesy love song. I mean, the cheesy love songs are nice and it's all up to, it's, you guys have your own little weird things in your relationships, right? Like, you have that little thing that's yours. Maybe you guys do, cheesy cards. Maybe you do memes, maybe that's your thing. Like, we did that for a little while. Like, we just sent each other goofy, weird memes to each other. And it was like, aw, he's thinking of me. He loves me. He thought of me when he thought of this weird SpongeBob meme, right? And that's romance, guys. Let's see. We've got baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low. Oh my gosh, Tiffany, I love you. Scotty's audition. No, I don't know what that is, but now I'm going to have to look it up because that sounds funny as heck. But yeah, so just make sure that you're communicating. If you're feeling like the fizzle is gone, the sizzle is out and you're struggling, like, talk to them about it. Cause there's been times where I am a mom of 5 who runs her own business, runs like I'm running my own business. I run this. I work part-time for a media company in town and I am like run. And there are times where I am like just tired or I am disconnected and my husband will take that as me being disinterested, right? He'll be like, well, it's like he'll just kind of avoid me because he thinks he's helping me by staying out of the way. And then I'll be like, where are you? What's the matter with you? And he'll be like, you just seem like you were busy. I figured the best way to help you was to stay out of the way. And we didn't communicate that. And it caused problems because we made assumptions about how the other one was doing without actually asking them, hey, what's up? How's it going? But again, a smile, a kiss, and a hey, love you. That goes a long way. Like, it goes a long, long way. If I feel like I'm like there's a disconnect between us, the very first thing I do is I check myself. Like, I check myself. Where am I? What am I doing? When's the last time I reached out? When's the last time I gave a hug and a kiss? And, is there the disconnect there? Obviously, people are going to have issues. There are going to be problems. There may be a point in time where you need to consider like a marriage coach or counselor, or, you can see somebody in your church or your community that can help you out with that, because sometimes things go a little deeper. But I guarantee you, if you do these little things, then it's going to help. It's going to make a difference. And it might even keep you from getting to those big, big stages of needing that, right? Let's see. My love language is totally acts of service. Yes, I should have found that and like done the love language thing. And I have to say, my husband and I learned about that through my work, actually. And it was a long time before we did it. But when we did, like, mine was we totally knew it. Mine was 100% acts of service. Like, I am don't tell me about it, just be about it, right? That is me. Like, I don't want you to tell me you're going to be there. I don't want you to tell me you're going to do this. I want you to show it. Okay. Don't tell me I look nice. Do the dishes. That's me. And I was shook when I found out what my husband's was, because I would have like well overthought that he was one thing and he ended up being totally different. Like, I thought he was like gifts and something else. He ended up being quality time and what was it? Quality time and words of affirmation or words or something like that. I can't remember what they all are right now. But I'm telling you, when we found that out and we realized what each other's love language was, and then we made sure that we tried to act on that, even like once a week, like I'll go out of my way to try to do something in his love language, it really does make a difference. Okay. And again, like my thankful Thursday, my positive today was going and getting my car fixed, right? adult wins here. That was like my super awesome, I'm super excited birthday gift. Like, I'm like, yay, I just want a car that works and I don't have to cry. Every time I drive, I'm between swears and prayers, and I don't want to be like that anymore. And when he took charge, took care of it, got it taken care of, called the mechanic, got it all worked out, figured out how the heck we were going to pay for it, and I didn't have to do anything. Guys, I was swooning. Words of affirmation. Thank you, Tiffany. I was swooning, like well over the moon, because like I said, I was between swears and prayers. I don't know anything about cars. I didn't know how to do that. And I was mad at the car not working, but I made sure, because it got to the point in the first place, but I made sure that I took a second out of like me being upset and me being angry and me being shell shocked at the amount of money that we were going to have to come up to fix it. But making sure that I took the aside and said, hey, honey, you're a rock star. Like, thank you for taking charge, and thank you for helping me. And just thanks for taking care of us. Thanks for taking care of the car. Thanks for taking care of the family. Thanks for taking care of me, taking it off of my plate and making it something that I don't have to do or I don't have to deal with. And I'll tell you what, that little thing, me just saying that, he was almost shocked for a second, because he was just like, wait, what? Like, he was expecting me to be more mad, yelling more, because I had been calling him almost every day about the next thing wrong with the car. But it was just like that little realization to him and to me, like, we need those little words, we need to make sure that we're not just yelling and venting and complaining to each other all the time. And I forget sometimes that sometimes I feel like I'm complaining to him, and he sees it as complaining about him or just complaining about our entire situation, and it brings him down and it makes him upset. So I just make sure that I go in and I'm like, hey, baby, still love you. Like, even when times are tough, like, hey, stuff is crazy. Things suck. Kids won't sleep. Kids are screaming. I'm sleep deprived, but I still love you, man. Like, in this together, we always laugh that we're in it for the long haul. Like, one of us, the only way we're getting out is in a pine box. Okay. And we used to joke that the one who lives wins. And now we're wondering if the one who gets the nails pounded is the winner in the long run. Right. I'm just kidding. That's sleep deprivation talking. But again, just making sure that you guys are, again, checking yourselves. Make sure you're showing that love to them, that you're showing that love back, and that when you are feeling that disconnect, like, you're communicating that. You're communicating that, and you're making sure that you're putting out what you want to be given in. Okay? I know this was kind of a quick one. Like I said, you got to fill that love tank. Oh, I love that, Tiffany. I'm going to steal that. Fill in that love tank, right? Exactly. It is like you're pouring your cup, and what, your overflow, what pours into your cup. So if you want love overflowing into you and your relationship, and you'll be pretty surprised to see how that will trickle down into other things too. Your kids will notice that. It really will affect the rest of the things. A little appreciation goes a long way, especially like moms, you get it. Like, you want to be appreciated for the things that you are doing and the things that you are putting out there. Remember, it goes both ways too. Okay. So if he's at work all day, or he just did all of this, or he just, he did that too, realize when you want that time out, he might want that time out too. And it's got to be a give and take thing. It's got to be a give and take thing though. Okay. And I understand we've talked about lives about that before too, like making sure you're taking time for you and making sure that too, dads need self-care too. And it's important to realize and recognize that. Okay. All right. I know this wasn't like the lovey-dovey Valentine's Day things. And I've got some awesome things coming up too. I'm working on a couples project with some other moms and dads, and getting them on here. We've got some fun things like that coming. I've got some really awesome moms. You guys have really been taking note of the nominations, and I have gotten some amazing moms that you guys have come on and been like, hey, I know this mom. I think she'd be awesome for you. So I want to make sure to remind you guys, if you go to my website, and I will put it in here. There is actually a spot where you can nominate a mom to go live with me. and like tell her story or do whatever. So please, 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 if you know a mom or you are a mom that has a passion or a mission or a message, then connect with me and let's do that. I've got some awesome things coming soon, guys. Like seriously, I've got big, big things in the works. And one of those, if you, I know you've probably heard me say it a few times before, and that is the my group, Work Like a Mother. If you are a mom that is a hustler and a worker and a grinder, and you are trying to get something off of the ground, or you just need help with accountability and everything like that, then you need to consider joining my group, Work Like a Mother. It is an amazing group of empowered and supportive mothers. I know some of you ladies have been on and running through here. And if you're on the replay, do a shout out to me. Say, hey, girls. Because they are amazing. And sometimes you just need to know that you're not alone in your struggle and you need advice from other people that kind of know where you are. So if that is you and you need like some support and some encouragement, then please, please consider joining that group. Also, and I didn't get a chance because like I said, things have been crazy, things have been nuts. I've been super, super busy. I've got just a lot in the works right now. And last week's winner is actually on. It is Tiffany Duggar. She won the $40 Victoria Secret gift card and the what is it? And the book, Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. So thank you so much, girl. You are worthy. Okay. And I am so happy you love yourself where you are now. That was a crazy and kind of hard life to do, but I'm really glad that you guys were there for like along for it. And I got a lot of private messages too. And I want you to know that I appreciate every single one of you. You know, I had a lot of people were reaching out to me and I was catching up on messages even still this week from last week. And again, if you don't feel like you can shout out during these lives or things like that, that's totally all right. I want you to know that I am here for you. Okay. And you can always reach out to me. What I do have for tonight is an Applebee's, $25 Applebee's gift card. And all I want you to do is tell me how you are going to spend your Valentine's Day. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be crazy. What'd she say? What do you mean? What you mean you get busy too, right? It's been crazy. And I can't wait to start like leaking stuff out for you guys because I hate keeping secrets and I'm honestly terrible at it. So I'm going to be probably very soon letting some things out and letting some things go because I'm just so excited about it. But all you have to do is tell me how you're going to be spending your Valentine's Day, and you will get a chance to win a $25 Applebee's gift card. So just comment that below and let me know, and that's it. Okay. And then you're going to be put in the raffle for that. As always, I will give you until Sunday, usually about like 4 o'clock. And then I go live on 4:30. And then I go live in my group, Work Like a Mother, on Sundays at 5 for a checkup. And then we are doing a lot in there. I've been making some really awesome and really cool changes in there. So if you're looking for a networking group with awesome and amazing moms, seriously, you want to check that out. Okay. That is enough for my plugs and all of that. I wish all of you an amazing Thursday night. I want to thank every single one of you because you guys are awesome. Jesse, yes, if you didn't see her live last week, go watch it. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. You're so sweet. I love her. If you didn't see when she was on, you should go check that out because that was all about finding your tribe and finding all of those people that are awesome and supportive. And that's how you get amazing friends like these. All right, guys. Well, I want you to have an amazing Thursday night. I want you to have an amazing weekend, a great and happy Valentine's Day. Okay. And every other day of the year. And I want you to know that if you are a mom and you are trying to do it all, you do not have to do it all alone. Okay. And like I said through this live, and like I've said through other ones too, sometimes that means opening up a little bit and having a little better communication. And if you need help with that, please reach out to me. Okay. Because if I can't help you, I will find somebody who can, because I might not have all the answer to your problems, but I sure as heck will try and find a way. Okay. Because I am a mom on a mission. And it is a mother of a mission. And I am so happy that you have been here going along it with me. All right, guys, have a beautiful night. Talk to you later.